So, hi, good evening, everyone. If you can hear me, just type message on the chat window. Yes, you can hear me. Probably there is a delay. So, I cannot see any messages on the chat window. Everything is fine. Am I audible enough? Okay, great. Good evening, all. Very good evening. Again, this is Windows Microsoft. Wow, what an operating system. And hold on. Fine. So, any questions if you have, please do ask me. So, start asking your question if you have. So, might be during the assignment submission. So, by the way, how many of you have already submit some assignments? So, question and assignments. Anyone? If you have, it's all fine. If you don't have, just say no. You don't have any question. So, as of now, are you comfortable with Dockerfile? Or I can say, are you good with Dockerfile? Right? Oh my God, so many sleeps. Uh, okay. Submitted. Couple of people have submitted the assignment. All right. So, what about this? Are you comfortable with Dockerfile? Yes. Okay. So I can see messages here. Right. Some system problem if you're facing, please try to resolve those. Okay. So let me ask some questions randomly here. Let's see who is going to answer that question. So first of all, a very normal question in general. So the question is if just try to think, then answer the question. Okay. Let's say we have two Docker images. This is my Docker image 1 and this is my another Docker image, right? So this is my Docker image 1 and this is my Docker image 2. I want to create a container, but the container must be a combination of both the images, right? So this is Docker image 1 and this is image 2, and this is a single container. Think and answer. It is possible or not? From two different Docker images, can we create a single container? Possible or not? Try to figure out the example as well. Right? So waiting for your response, kind of, you can say I'll be asking same kind of questions to you during the, some we are working in Linux, man. So I'm accessing in not possible. Ashir is saying not possible. Any other inputs from any other people? No, sir. No, no. I think no. Okay. So in the maximum cases, the answer is no. Okay. Fine. Different containers. We also install number of OS in the virtual box, but in containers only. Great. No. Yes, sir. Ria Soni is saying yes, sir. And whosoever saying yes, possibly you guys have to prepare for the next round for giving the example. Okay, not with Dockerfile I'm talking. It's simply Docker container create. Anyway, so let me access my lab first. So this lab, and this has AI Winter as a key. Okay. So I've connected to my lab, and here I think if anybody else is connected, no worries. So let's create another new thing. So I'm gonna create day 9 folder, and here in day 9 I'm gonna talk about. So did we talk about hosting multiple images? So multiple web application in a single Docker image. So multi web app. So multiple application in a single container. So did we discuss about this? I mean, practically or not? Multiple application in a single container? Yes or no? Because I just forgot the real scenario. Okay. Yes or no? I mean, multiple web web application in a single container. hmm So just answer very quickly and fast. So multiple meaning two websites in a single container. No, no, no. Okay. So let me take that one. Here I'm gonna use this. I don't have anything. So what I'll do, first of all, let me take two sample codes. So I'm gonna take get sample HTML code on GitHub, and I'm gonna take first project by Microsoft, second project by Mozilla or maybe anybody else, and I'm gonna clone both the images here, right? So I'm just cloning get clone both the pages here, and then another git page. Okay, so we have two web applications. Let's rename it because the name is big. Web app 1 and web app 2. So we have two images, two actually Docker file, and that is running like this. Is it echo? Okay. So guys, is echo again starting? I think must not be. Tell me if it is. No, right? Okay. What about now? It's very much problem. Mm-hmm. Okay, it's gone. Or it's the same again. Is it fine now or no? No, it's good. Okay. So what I did, I just created two folders. Let me create a Docker file. I'm doing it quickly. And I'm creating a Docker file. So and in Docker file, I'm gonna use from CentOS and maintainer. Why we have to install? Because if you want very fresh or most stable and updated HTTPD web server, so let me just put syntax off, right? Then here I'm gonna create one more run. Let's say my code, and then I'm putting copy statement. Okay, web app 1 to my code by the name of web app 1 and pasting it back. I'm not gonna copy indirectly var www.html. Okay, now exposing 80 port and entry point is httpd entry point httpd hyphen d for ground. All right, so first of all I have created two web pages. Okay, I hope I'm not doing quickly. Two web pages and the folder 1 and 2. And then I'm installing it and creating a directory and copying both the directory here. So we know that if we have a single web server, right? If we have a single web server, so this is my only single means a single web server, and this web server is having only one document root, one document root. Okay, that is one var www HTML. So what I can do, I can just put some variable here. That's x is equals to web app 1. So when the variable x is equals to web app 1, I want to host web app 1 application, right? And when the x is equals to web app 2, I will host second application. So here I can just define these environment variable inside my Docker image. So when there will be x is equals to web app 1, it will be hosting that. So what I'll do in my Docker file, I'll put a keyword here. We called it env, and x is equals to, let's say, web app 1. So this variable will be available in Docker image that we create or we will be creating. So the use of env to give you a variable globally for your entire Docker image. So now the new Docker image we are having, we will be just creating it here. Okay, so once we will be creating, this variable will be present in my Docker image. Okay, see, but there is no benefit of it. If I'm using x equals to web app 1, it doesn't matter. This program will be started, but which web page, right? Very much similar to the next env, right? Which web page it should serve. So what I can do, I can now write a script. Let's say I'm gonna write a script called start web.sh, and in this scripting file I'll be writing something. You have to understand it later on. If you don't know about shell script, don't worry. Bin bash, and here I'm using if. This is shell script, nothing more. If the value of x is equals to web app 1, right? If value of, then what I want to do, I want to copy all the data from my code. Where exactly the code file is, I want to copy all the data from my code web app 1 from my code web app 1 everything to var www html, right? Everything, whatever it is in the here, if this is web app 1, and definitely I would like to start this web service in a foreground way. Likewise, elif, right? Because in shell scripting we use elif, and if the value of x is equals to web app 2, right? Then I'm copying and pasting the same thing, these two lines, paste. But this time I'll be copying web app 2 to here, and then I'll be starting. Else I'll be writing like, sorry bro, no no match found, try again. Okay, and I'm gonna put this under var www.html by the name of index.html and httpd-d foreground. I'm closing if by fi. So in shell script we close this if by fi, just a reverse of it. So if this will be running inside a container as a parent process, it will be checking what is the value of x. If it is web app 1, it will be copying this code to here. Otherwise this. So I have just created that code, start web.sh, and what I'm doing, what I'm doing here in my copy statement, I'm gonna copy this to slash my code by the name of start web.sh, right? Also I'm giving a run statement to make it executable, plus x slash my code start web.sh. All right, and in my entry point I'm not gonna run this process. I'm gonna just bash slash my code start web.sh. So that means my entry point will be running this script. So in couple of production grade companies, people are not running any single process. They are running Python code, Java code, shell script, Perl script, and the script has so many conditions in what environment variable and what thing we should use, right? So I got some question in chat, why RF for? So let's say if you are, sorry, okay. So if I will show the file again, this R and F are for if there is a folder inside web app, it will copy that. F for forcefully, right? So any folder forcefully copy here if there is some problem. That's why I've kept RF. So I believe I'm not making any syntax error here for ground and all, right? So this is all my data. Okay, good. So guys, this is my Docker file. If you are understanding what I'm trying to say, see. So let me take this. This environment keyword will create a variable called webapp1, right? And this entry point has this choice. So by default, the webapp1 will be running, but we can replace this during the container runtime. So if you are getting this Docker file, why I have created a shell script, so that we can switch into the multiple web application. It's not about only one now. Let's say you have 5 or 10 or 100 applications of same language. There is no conflict. So by just changing this variable on the runtime, we can have multiple containers or multiple website in the same. Okay, so why we are using a Piyush? I think you have to think one more time, because how you start a web server in container, right? So if you don't use this thing, how to start a service of web server in container? Do you have any other way? So definitely when there is a service, right? And I think about this, I have already discussed why we are using this httpd-d for ground. For your kind information, if I'm not wrong, yes, I believe, right? Okay. So are you guys are comfortable with this? So two website folders and one Docker file, one script. So if you all are fine with the same, just say yes in the chat window. Because Nginx already have that thing written. So if you are fine, this just say yes in the chat window, so that we can simply. So waiting for your messages. If all good, everything is fine about this Docker file. So type yes as of now. So I can see two messages here. Okay, great. But if you, okay, so I'm getting the messages here. But if you try to understand exactly few new cases, that means here in this script, I have written to copy every single data under this document root. But if I'm going to show you under this web app 1, we have couple of things that is not required to copy. See, this MD file, this license file, this readme.md file is not required to copy because this is all unnecessary data. This is all unnecessary. This is also this is. Even if I'll check some hidden file by -a, so there's a .git. So that means I really don't want to copy that data in my web server. That is no use of. Okay. So to avoid data copy in your Docker file, there is a concept called .dockerignore. I think I have already discussed about .dockerignore. So did I discuss about a .dockerignore file? Again, say yes or no. So I mean, we have discussed about this .dockerignore or not. Uh, I can do one thing, right? Because I have a couple of bandwidth this Saturday, Sunday. So I will be giving you two videos about one about Nginx, what about HTTPD, and the differences and couple of use cases. So okay, no. So now why we are using .dockerignore, that I don't want to copy in my web server. So let's say I can just write, I don't want to copy my Docker file also. I don't want to copy .git folder. I don't want to copy anything that is related to .md. I don't want to copy license, right? So these are few folders, web app 1-a. So .git, md, md and license. And that is here in the .dockerignore. So Dockerfile I don't want to copy in my web application. No, .git, md and license. Okay. Likewise in web app 2 as well. I don't think so. This, yes. And here is also. So always try to use .dockerignore. It's a standard practice to use .dockerignore forever, so that you can avoid those unnecessary files to copy in your website, right? From your current location. So these will be not copied from this location to the Docker image. So that means what is the use of .dockerignore? So .dockerignore will restrict to copy data from your local system to Docker image. So whatever image you are building, it will not be copying anything that is mentioned here, right? So I hope you are understanding the use of .dockerignore. So when sometimes we have couple of unnecessary data in the current system, current location that I don't want to put in my container. So if you are understanding this .dockerignore, just type yes or understood in the chat window. If you have still some doubt, you can ask me here. So be quick. Okay, be quick and just tell me, are you understanding .dockerignore or not? Good. So it's very much similar to .gitignore file. So I've got two messages. In case if someone is not understood, please do cast something. Okay, okay, good one. Fine. So let's build this image now. So now I'm gonna use Docker build -t Ashutosh web, let's say COVID web version 1. Okay, and dot, and then hit enter. So there is a syntax error in Dockerfile. Where exactly is syntax error? Oh, sorry. Yes, I cannot put comment after the line. I have to comment under the line. Okay, the comment will be here. So let the web server install. Okay, it is getting installed. So are you guys ready for some test or some kind of test? Maybe I can give some assignment, not assignment actually, a kind of examination test where you will be getting only 1 to 2 hours, and you have to perform those things and submit that within that time limit to me. Okay, so this got almost built. All right, so I get it, my Docker image. So if I will see here Docker images, I have this one, COVID web v1. So let me create a container from this image, and docker run -name test1 -it and -p some number colon 80. Okay, so my container is about to start. So why it is taking that much time? Sorry, I just missed -d. So let me kill that container. Killing the container, and I'm removing it as well. Fine. And then ITD. So if I'll use 900, let's see. So 9009. So I'm getting my Mozilla page. That was, I believe, web app 1. How do I check the same? So if I'll do docker exec it t1 env, so if I'll put a child process in my container, you can see here the container have x is equals to web app 1, right? Right? See, so it's web app 1. So by default, this x is equals to web app 1 is there because of this Docker file we have given here. So whatever we given an environment variable, that will be present in your Docker image, and it will be there in the container itself. See, so this environment variable I have supplied here. Now let's say if I want to create another container from the same image. Let's say I'm giving 9008, but this time I want to create container T2, and I want to replace this x is equals to web app 2. So how I do that? So there is an option called -e. Here I can write x is equals to web app 2. So once I write x is equals to web app 2, it will be replacing that variable. When the variable will be replaced, your shell script will be doing your job. So I'm just hitting enter and waiting for container to up, right? This time, let me show you. If I'll use a T2 container, and we'll check, yeah, x is equals to web app 2 and 9008. So if I'll take the same data and we'll go there, 9008. See, this is my second page in the same container, same Docker image. This is my first page. This is my second page. And if I'll give any other thing, why my system is okay? Since there are so many number of process that are running, worker, thread. So how many containers are running? Docker ps, no worries. And if I'll give some any random name, let's say Hakuna Matata. I hope you guys are remembering that. Hakuna Matata. Okay. And 7. Whoa. Container 2 is already in use. No, it's not there. Oh my god. So I'm gonna just Hakuna Matata. So my container that is T3 or T4 is having x is equals to Hakuna Matata, and it's 9007. But if I'm gonna put that here, 9007, yes, sorry bro, no match found. Okay, it must be no Tinder match found, but anyway. So this is how you can integrate so many images in the Docker, uh, so many web applications in the Docker image, and by navigating to the script. So it's very simple. When x value is web app 1, it is going to copy this in the container. When the x is web app 2, it is going to copy this one. When x is something else, it is going to copy. And every time it will be copying, so it will be restarted this. Okay? So if you all are comfortable and okay with the same as of now, just give me yes or no message, or if you have some question you can ask me. All good? Right? Just type your yes or no messages in the chat window. What is happening? Is the connection is slow or what? I can see only 7 or 8 viewers are left. Is that much boring? Oh my god. Okay. So currently only 8 people are live. Is it something very slow? Maybe. Alright. All good. Understood. So this is your I can say Docker file. See, it's not that much tough or that much easy to understand. It's average one, right? I mean, for maybe for a couple of people it's all okay, all cool, but right? Yes, this problem script file. So what is the problem with the script file, by the way? I cannot understand what is the process and that is going on. But it's simply if and else. I mean, okay, you can give me a call later on, but if and else. All right. So anyway, is the pace is slow or fast or what it is, or it is very fast or very slow? You guys are understanding things because I can see in my current view list only 10, 13 people are there. 14 maybe it's increasing, decreasing one by one. If you don't find it useful, we can switch the topic maybe because simply I'm giving my time and it's not valuable, then there's no point of doing. So tell me, I mean, you guys are understanding and using it, right? I'm not just training you on a direction this way. Okay, fine. So I think about Dockerfile, you have learned a lot. So today, file for web app, I think you are understanding and getting it in a very directional way. Okay. Now let's try to write a Docker file for your code like Java. So if you have, the code that you have to compile first, and after compilation you have to run. Okay, you have to compile and you have to run. So if you want to use any Java like or C like code where you have to compile, then you have to run it, then in that case, this kind of Docker file will be written in a not that much different way, but yes, we can think about that. So again, I'm gonna create this Java code that says Java code, and in Java code I'm gonna just create a sample file. So I think I have a normal Java code here somewhere written, or do I need to write it again? No, not here. Not here as well. Okay, so maybe I need to write it. So what I'll do, let me write a normal sample code. Let's say hello. So generally, the standard practice is to put your Docker file and code in a different way. That means if you have your, any compiler or interpreter way, so you can use the same thing here. Okay. All right. So let me tell you how we generally host a Python, Django, or Flask-based code. So couple of cases are left. So Java code and how to host Python, Django, or Flask. Here, and maybe our example can take for Golang, right? But see, for a developer, it's really a big job or big deal to create and remember all these commands. So as of now, if you are a developer, it's a very complex job to remember first of all the commands, and like docker run, docker ps, docker clear, docker remove, and so many things. It's really, and then we have to manage each and every container. So you know what, we are looking for something that we can use all the operation in an automated way. So it doesn't matter what kind of code, what kind of language, what kind of things we have, it will be working in a very similar way, in a very similar fashion. Okay, so I'm announcing it right now. Tomorrow's session will be very useful for everyone because we are going to integrate all Docker operation, all Docker command, or I can say operation, using one click. So here you just click, boom, everything will be automatically managed. So even uh, we can say automatic build will be there, automatic container will be created, and you can stop the container, kill the container. So that all will be one click, right? Now, today I'm going to introduce one new topic here, that is Docker networking. right? Docker networking. So it's not a big topic, but it's very important. And when we talk about Docker networking, so it will be something like this. So we have not discussed about Docker networking, right? I believe about Docker networking we have not discussed about, or did we? So just reply here on the chat window. Remaining 5-6 people. Did we discuss Docker networking or not? Okay, okay. Yes or no? Yes, we did. So did I told you about this Docker Zero bridge and so tell me how many people we are here? One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Seven people only. So out of 35, 40 people, we are only seven. Where are all these people gone? Okay, no worries. So see, so let me talk about Docker networking. It's the very I can say interesting topic. So let's say if we have installed this host, right? So this is my physical host. Very much. This is my physical host, and here this host means this host has Docker installed. So here what we did, we have Docker Community Edition running. So when Docker C is running, once you start Docker service, what exactly happened? Uh, Network layer got created on top of your host, and this network layer we call it bridge. So a bridge that is a combination of DHCP, or I can say DNS, and router, right? So once you install Docker for the first time in your machine, a bridge got created by the name of Docker 0, right? An IP address to this bridge is 172.17.0.1. So this IP address will be achieved by this bridge. Now, I hope you all are understanding what exactly DHCP means. DHCP means a program that can dynamically produce IP address. And you do understand DNS as well, right? And I hope router as well. So I don't know, but this is not required, but you do understand DHCP and DNS. Just say yes or no in the chat window. Did you guys are understanding DNS and DHCP both? Yes or no? Waiting for your messages. So where? Okay, yes, good one. So let's say for the first time, if you create a container, like this is the container, and this is another container, you create two containers or maybe three or four, doesn't matter. So once you create container one, once you create container two, So automatically from this bridge, there is a wire connecting to this container, and there's another wire connecting to this container, and this container is getting a network interface card like LAN card named ETH0, and this container is getting IP address 172.17.0.2 because this was a 1, and this container will get IP 172.17.0.3. And likewise, you keep creating containers every single day. So because they are connected from a same bridge, so they are able to communicate with each other. They can talk, right? Although the process is very much isolated, so they cannot share their library due to a component called namespace. I hope I have discussed about the same. So namespace is preventing to share the libraries among between them, but by networking they can communicate to each other without any failure. And the reason behind that, because they both are connected from a same bridge. So they are internally connected like this, right? So every time if you create container in your Docker engine, so they will be created from this Docker 0. So I can show you this Docker 0 is already present in your ifconfig Docker 0. See, and the IP address is 172.17.0.1, right? So once we have 172.17.0.1, this one is present. And how many containers I have? So I have container T1, T2, and T4. So let me check what is the IP address of T1. So I can use that by Docker inspect the name of container. So if I do Docker inspect and the name of container, so this is the IP address of my container, right? See, 2. As I told you, the first container will be getting IP address 2, right? And if I'll check another container T2 and T4, so this will be getting 3 and 4. So inspect T2 IP3, right? And if I check inspect T4 IP4, right? Now I can go inside container T1. Even here I can hit ifconfig command. If it is not present, nothing to worry. IP-a command. So this is the IP. And if there is a ping command present, yes. So I can connect to 172.17.0.3. Yes, able to connect, and 0.4 as well. So that means now this container will be able to connect to each other. So that's exactly this thing is happening in the container networking. So every time you create a container, that container will be getting an IP address, and they can communicate to each other because of the bridge, right? So, but the fact is, people understand there is only one bridge in Docker networking that got created, but this is not the right statement. So once you install Docker for the first time, right? If you install Docker for the first time, actually not only one bridge is getting created. So there are 3 bridges got created. Bridge number 1, bridge number 2, and bridge number 3. Right? So the 3 bridges are created. Out of those 3 bridges, one bridge has a name called Docker 0, right? And this name is given by OS, not by Docker, right? So this name Docker 0 for this bridge given by OS, not by Docker. Actually, Docker given a different name to this bridge that is coincidentally the name is also bridge. I'm repeating again, this Docker 0 name is given by operating system, not by Docker. So what Docker has given the name? Bridge. And Docker has given another name to this bridge that we call it host. And to this bridge, none. So actually, three bridges are created once for the first time you have installed Docker, right? So if you are getting the point that three bridges are created, so and if you want to check that, then Docker network and ls. I have so many extra bridges, but let me delete all. Docker network rm. Okay, so I'm deleting all my created network, but fine. So three bridges. See, the name is bridge, host, and none. So this bridge is known as Docker 0, right? This bridge is a host, then none. I'm gonna tell you what is the role of these two bridges, but at least for now you understand the first one, right? The first one is nothing, it's a Docker 0. So that bridge is nothing, it's a Docker 0. Okay? Oh no, VETH is a card than card, not a bridge. Okay? So now if you want to talk about this bridge much, then let me just delete that. So there is one more thing that you have to understand. If this is my host operating system, right? This is my host operating system, and here I'm creating this line, okay? And this is my host kernel, and this is my Docker 0 bridge, okay? They both are integrated. If I create container 1 and container 2 and container 3 from the same bridge, so all the container can communicate to each other. And these containers, if they want to download some data from internet or from Google, so they generally cannot download or connect to internet because the host operating system has its IP address. So if they want to download, so they will go to host, and the host IP address will go to internet on behalf of them. So whatever IP address we have here, IP1, IP2 or IP3, they are not allowed to go outside. But still container is accessing internet because it is going to host IP, and the host IP is going on behalf of each and every container to outside this one. So that means if the container want to communicate outside this host, their IP address will not be forwarded. So the host will be the main thing. So he will be sending, I mean, the host will be sending the IP address to outside this world, right? So this feature of networking, we call it network address translation. Why network address? Because internally, this internal IP address is getting translated into the host IP address. So internal IP address will be here, and the host IP will be going outside to communicate. And once they will get the data, they will send this. They will give the data back to the IP, and this will be there. So containers are not allowed to go outside. On behalf of them, the host will go, and this process we call it NAT, that is network address translation, right? This process we call network address translation. Okay? So if you understand this logic, just say yes on the chat window. Quickly. Yes or no? Uh, a container to access host IP. Yes, we can, but not by Docker, right? So if you want that, yes, we can do that. So your answer is yes. The same way. JS, it does work the same way in AWS as well. So it is because I'm talking about the AWS scenario. So the AWS public IP will be going on behalf of container, right? So this is the one. Now, another thing. If outside people want to connect to the container IP, they cannot connect. So they will be coming to host IP, and then the host IP can forward the traffic to here. So vice versa is the same thing, right? Now the talking about another one. So the second scenario was if we have host, right? And this is my host. Again, my host is having host IP, and the second bridge is this. So if you talk about another bridge, that is host, okay, so that is the second bridge, host. If you want your container to connect by this bridge, not in the first bridge, so that means if you create a container here, if you create a container here, okay, and that container you want to connect with this bridge, not with the first one, that is Docker 0, not with the Docker 0. So that means this container will have all the IP of host. So whatever number of IPs have in the host machine, this container will have all the IP address, including public, private, and everything. Yes, Piyush, you're saying right. So whatever we are using by -p, that is the same thing. Okay, all right. So let's see if I want to, give, but you got the second bridge idea. So if my container want to use all the IP address of the host machine, then in that case you can use a host bridge. Say yes on the chat window. I can show you a demo how a container can have all IP address of a host. Although this is a big thing. So, just waiting for your messages. Say yes or no if you're understanding the second bridge. Okay. All right. So if I don't want that my container must not connect from the default bridge, so what will I do? Docker run ITD and hyphen hyphen name, let's say T5, then hyphen hyphen network and the name of bridge. So by supplying this argument, you can use alpine image and sh. See, so my this container alpine with a T5 name will be connected to the bridge called host. Okay, bridge called host, and let's check. So if I do docker ps right now, T5 container, let me go inside docker exec it t5 and sh. Once I hit enter here, okay, and try to hit my ifconfig, voila, see. So hello, this, and if I'll check by less, right? See, Docker 0, ETH 0, hello, and so many other network interfaces are here. That means this container, now if you can connect to this IP, so directly by writing public IP of your instance, you can connect to the container. So every IP address in the container, in the host, will be given to that container. So that means now you can directly connect to a container without any failure, right? And the final bridge, that is none, right? That is none. So if you want to create a container and you don't want that container must not be able to communicate to anybody, not even to the host, no internet connection, nothing. And this container won't be able to communicate to any other container as well. So in that case, you have to give that bridge none. So if I use docker run it alpine sh and then I use this rough host machine ifconfig, see, oh sorry, I just missed the name of bridge. What the hell is happening to me? So how I do that? Here by giving hyphen hyphen network none. Okay, if I give that none network, And if I do ifconfig now, see, it only has local address. And if I try to connect to the host bridge, no, not possible. If I try to connect with 8.8.8.8, I mean, when it is not connecting to its own bridge, how it can connect to Google? So I got some questions. Are these IP address of host machine? Yukta. If we go for IP falling to container 2, which one will be accessed? Container, Piyush. So now your third bridge also got one. You can ask question in phone because writing the way and then it will be very complex for me to read it out like this. Okay. Now the final thing about Docker networking, you can create your own bridges. The best thing about bridges are, let's say if you have Docker 0 and if you have another bridge. So for example, the Docker 0 bridge is here and I have created Ashutosh bridge and ad hoc bridge. So if this is my Docker 0, I'm gonna create Ashutosh bridge and I'm gonna create OK bridge, three bridges. So all the pods, if the pod is here and here, and if the pod is here and here, and the pod is here and here, so by default, they cannot communicate to each other. So if you want some container, they must not communicate to each other. So you can connect them in a different bridge, right? Although all the bridges are on a same host, that means they are on the same host, but still, and they all are connected. So they all are connected to the host machine. Still, these containers cannot communicate in between, right? They can communicate to Google. All the container can communicate to Google by the host IP, but different bridge container cannot communicate to each other. So by this history, I'm wrapping it up this session for today. We'll be connecting tomorrow. So I hope if you got this point, the last one, say yes on the chat window, then we can wrap it up for today. I'll show you this demo tomorrow by creating number of bridges and right. And this is useful when there is a PHP based container, this is .NET based container, this is database based container. You don't want to communicate in between. All right. So just say yes, okay, hi, hello. If you understand this one, at least the last part, multi-bridge thing. Okay, good. All right, guys. See you tomorrow. So have fun. So have a great time and bye bye.